Hello and welcome to another in the Ask the Data Governance Coach of the video series. And today's question is an interesting one that I was asked very recently was, should a CDO be responsible for all things data governance? And to me, the easy answer is, well, yes, of course. If you have a chief data officer in your organization, in my view, the data governance team should be within their remit and should be reporting directly to the CDO. Because yes, I am biased, but data governance puts in place those strong foundations so that other people can be getting real value out of that data, which is also within the remit of the CDO. So it makes perfect sense to me that both report up to the same person. If you don't have a CDO, I've had all sorts of other blogs and videos over the years talking about where you could put a report into as a data governance team. But if you do have a CDO, I think that is a really easy answer. But it got me thinking, well, why was I being asked that question? Because if it was that simple an answer, then surely they could have figured that one out for themselves. So I probed a little bit more, and by talking to a few people, I think what becomes very clear is we still have this ongoing confusion about what really is in the scope of data governance. And I think that confusion then leads people to say, well, not all things data governance belong to the CDO. So one common misconception is data security. And if you're working for an organization who thinks data security is part of the data governance bucket, then clearly you don't want that part of data governance going to your CDO. You probably want that reporting in and belonging to your CISO. So I can see how that kind of confusion arises. And in my book, data security is not part of data governance. It isn't according to Dharma and the DMBOK. And I subscribe very strongly to that view, which you will know if you've seen others of my videos. But there's other bits which are perhaps a little bit more nuanced. And when thinking in particular around like personal data. Now, GDPR was the first very strong data protection, data privacy legislation that we had worldwide. And a lot of other countries have followed suit or are following suit still. And what I found in that GDPR starts asking for things, it doesn't call them data governance, but it's asking for things that are basic data governance. And if you go and talk to your DPO in your organization, they are very strong supporters of that data governance. But I think from my own experiences and from talking to a number of people, that I think sometimes that can lead to that kind of a DPO believing that data governance over personal data belongs to them and data governance over all other data could belong to a CDO. Now, I'm not a fan of that fragmentation. I think things are a lot better when you can look at things holistically. But I think you should always work very closely with your DPO and your CISO and anybody else that has responsibility for data if you are doing data governance. So I think if you have a CDO and there's some confusion over what is the scope of their data, I think you need to break down and have a look. What are the bits that people are actually questioning, and does it make sense that it sits with the CDO with strong alignment to somebody else, or is it something like data security that has caused that question, in which case it really shouldn't belong to the CDO, it should be the CISO. I hope that has helped, and don't forget, if you've got a question you'd like me to answer in a future video, just email it into questions@nicolaaskham.com.